Hi, this is Abdurahman. Do you struggle with generating creative ideas? In today's video, you are going to learn how to come up with creative ideas using 6 creative thinking tips you probably don't know yet. Creative thinking is simply a thought process that allows you to explore and analyze ideas in an unusual way that produces a new innovative outcome. Which simply means before you can be innovative, creativity has to be involved, which is why it is so important to watch this video. So if you want to know how to come up with creative ideas, you need to watch this video to the very end. Without much further ado, let's start with the first tip I have for you today, which is to have an open mind. Why this is important is because open-mindedness supports creativity. Imagine you have a stream of ideas just flowing like river and you could just take out a few drops into your cup of wisdom. That's an endless sea of possibilities to me. What does that look like to you? Put in comments below. Open-minded people are willing to understand differences and seek out new experiences. They discover hidden opportunities and are always successful at finding marvelous ideas or solutions. Unlike the closed-minded person, a person with an open mind does not quickly judge an idea they come across or any situation they find themselves. Instead, they deliberate on the idea and analyze it so they have a better chance at understanding it. This will allow free flow of ideas to come around, and if you could just pay attention to what's going on around you, you never know what life-changing moment you're going to find next. Famous artist Frank Zappa did say that a mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it is not open. Next tip I have for you if you want to come up with creative ideas is to never underestimate any stupid idea you find. Sometimes we come up with ideas that just don't make sense, and the more we try to convince ourselves by working hard to make it work, the more stupid we look. For some people, they are so stubborn, they stick to that idea until the end, and before you know it, the idea becomes very successful. Now, imagine selling rocks to people to replace their pets at home. Pet rock is one of the weirdest and controversial inventions of all time. With its first debut in 1975, and within the first 6 months after its creation, 5 million rocks were sold at $3.95 a piece. If the strange idea of selling rocks still bothers you, how about the origin of these extraordinary round messengers of emotions, the smiley face? Its creation started as far back as 1963. The design for this digital revolution was created in just 10 minutes by Harvey Ball, a commercial artist from Massachusetts, and was paid $45 at the time by an insurance company that needed a morale-boosting icon for its employees. A few years later, a young journalist from France, Franklin Lufrani, stumbled upon this unique piece, realized the potential of the smiley icon, then went ahead to buy the trademark rights to it, and tagged it with the now infamous tagline, "Have a nice day." Franklin Lufrani started the Smiley Company with his son, Nicholas Lufrani, and today the company does up to $500 million in licensing deals with different brands and companies. So for you, my friend, your ideas may seem far-fetched until you are able to prove otherwise, and you could create a storm out of thin air. Like the award-winning best-selling author Richie Norton said, it all starts with a tiny, stupid idea, then one thing leads to another, and suddenly you find something amazing, yourself. A third way to come up with creative ideas is to not bother creating something out of nothing. Life is too short for you to start thinking about how to innovate a billion-dollar idea out of nothing at all. An idea is always based on another idea or a collection of ideas, and one thing will always lead to another. Take apple juice for example. It's based on 2 different concepts, the apple itself and water. In other words, you can look at different things that already exist and connect the ideas you find. If you can bridge the gap between 2 ideas to produce another idea, you have still done something original. Uber or Airbnb as an example. If your idea is a solution to an existing problem, that's still something original. If the idea is a better or much more improved solution to a given problem, that is still original. So while you are thinking or trying to come up with a creative idea, considering pre-existing ideas and just connecting the dots, it's much easier than creating an idea from scratch, in my opinion. Number 4, challenge your own assumptions. Assumptions are just assumptions until they are clarified. You want to question the reason why you think something will work or not. Or if you receive information about what you are trying to do, you want to be sure it is valid so you don't end up chasing a lost cause. Because something works for someone else, it doesn't necessarily mean that it will work for you. Just so you don't get disappointed, try to understand why things are the way they are before crafting your idea. And like we discussed earlier, if you think your idea is stupid, it may just be an assumption. Moving on to number 5, ignore the crowd and think differently. It's very easy to do what everyone does. Reason for that is because we naturally don't like taking responsibilities. Another way of entering the realms of creativity is to question the obvious. Ask yourself why things are done the way they are. Maybe it is necessary, or maybe it is not necessary to go through what everyone else is going through to achieve a certain objective. Curiosity helps a lot because it sieves out real ideas or beliefs from the ones that are not worth considering. By thinking differently from the majority, you will have more room to explore your creativity, especially when it comes to approach. Because at the end of the day, how you approach things won't matter, especially if the goal will eventually be achieved. Individuals that don't do things like everyone else pique my interest. If you happen to find people like that, ask them why they do what they do. You'll come to realize things that you'd never think of in the first place. The next tip that will help you come up with creative ideas is to always be positive about the process. When you have a few ideas, you want to bring it to light. Instead of worrying if it won't work, ask yourself, what if it does? This question is powerful because it unlocks different doors of opportunities. When you think of an idea that may not work, the next step you should think of is another way. What other way can I make this work? Perhaps in the process of doing that, another idea might be needed to make the original work. Our lives work the same way. When we continuously fail at what we do, it is very important to be positive about it and concentrate on making the success we want a reality, no matter what. But this becomes easier if you have a strong belief in what you want to accomplish. For example, Rovio's success came with Angry Birds after 51 games failed to meet the expectation of the marketplace. Angry Birds did not only make its unique spot in gaming industry, but it found its way into the movie industry too. One idea is enough, but you shouldn't expect it to work the first time until it is perfected by your positive attitude and your thinking process. Okay, I know I said I will only mention 6 in this video, but because you stayed all the way to the end, I am going to leave you with a golden tip as a bonus. Something that I notice most people don't know about when it comes to creative thinking. But before that, if you've learned something new from what we've discussed so far, subscribe and hit the bell right now so you won't miss my next video. Out of these 6 tips I've shared with you, which one will you try first today? Let me know in the comment below. Now for the bonus tip, I just want you to understand that creative thinking is actually a skill. Creativity is not an inborn talent, but a skill anyone, anywhere can learn and improve. The more you improve, it becomes easier to come up with creative ideas. But again, it takes practice, and a good place to start is by applying these tips I've shared with you today. That being said, please don't forget to also leave a comment below. Tell me which of these 7 tips do you want to try today. Until next time.